What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Kicks and Stuff, the podcast. Yeah, welcome back. This is episode, I don't even know, I've lost track at this point. But, we have another podcast episode for you guys. Another Wednesday, another podcast episode. I feel like that's what's like this podcast thing is gonna become. It's gonna be like another Wednesday, another podcast episode. But basically, yeah, it's Friday, the 26th of March, which means I am officially on spring break. Yes, I finally get 7 days without any school and having to worry about anything. Very actually, no, I have 9 days including the weekends. So I have 9 days. Very excited. This also means that a ton of content will be coming out, which I will be able to put a lot more work and a lot more time and a lot more effort than I would when I'm, filming when I'm filming and editing during school days and school hours and just weeks. So basically when I don't have a break. Yeah. So today started out pretty good. I actually fell asleep at like 9:30 p.m. last night, which is very odd for me because I sleep at like 12 a.m. every single day. But I slept like 2.5 hours early and I woke up at 6 a.m. So I'm pretty proud of myself, Woke up at 6 a.m., felt good about myself, slept pretty early. I want to do that again today. But yeah, I was like, you know what? I have a little bit of time. Why not? I make a montage. I did a montage and I burned my fingers. Not gonna tell you what the montage is about because that video comes out after this podcast episode. But yeah, I burnt my fingers because of it. So 3 of my fingers are burnt, but I had a ton, and I probably have not had this much fun editing a video. I actually switched from iMovie to DaVinci Resolve. I actually spent quite a bit of time just trying to learn the basics, and then I saw a montage video on how to create pretty basic montages, and I kind of took that and I kind of took what I knew from the basics and I kind of experimented a little bit even more, and I created a whole montage. It's a 4-minute montage, and yeah, I spent almost 4 hours on that, and it's 4 minutes, 4 hours. So I basically spent an hour for each minute of that video. And I had so much fun editing that. I literally was like not listening to class, which is bad. Don't do that. But I was just having way too much fun with that. And I think I might create more montages because that, like, I don't think words can even describe the amount of fun I had. I was just like, because with montages, you have to have a very cinematic look, and you have to have either, a gimbal or a stabilizer, or even a very stable shot with just your hand. Now, someone who's going solo right now, because my brother who's usually with me behind the camera or with me in front of the camera, is in California. He's going to be there for the next 2 weeks, and so this entire spring break, I'm gonna be flying solo, which is obviously it's great for me, because I get to learn that way. I get to kind of try to run solo when On can't help or when On's not around to help. So it's definitely good for me, but I'm also kind of sad because I would have gotten like sick montages with that. But yeah, I think it's the most funnest thing ever. Like, I can't express the amount of fun I had with that montage. And yeah, and then I just took a shower, and yeah, ate It's currently 6:21 p.m. The time I'm filming this on Friday, March 26th. And yeah, I usually film my podcast on Wednesdays when they go up. So while one is going up, I'm actually filming one or recording one. But this Wednesday, let's just say collab coming soon. Yes, sir. Your girl finally got her own collaboration with a fellow YouTuber who lives across the world. But yeah, we did it through Zoom, and I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see this. I'm not going to mess with any of the footage. I want raw footage there just because I think it's kind of necessary to see what we like, we're not just people with cameras, weird people with cameras who just talk in front of a camera and it's like act like people. If I go out in public, which I've did because of California, but if I go out in public with a camera and just I'm vlogging like a full-on vlog, I'm gonna get the weirdest stares. I'm pretty confident to do that just because, I mean, if I have fun, if I enjoy it, if I have a passion, I'm gonna do it. That's just the type of person I am. That's the one thing I will always live by when I'm doing something. It's a quote by Steve Jobs: "Do what you love and love what you do." And I honestly, if I would say that to other people too. Like if someone's feeling down, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore, but I love this. I'm like, if you love this, then do it. Yes, you're gonna get hiccups and you're gonna get challenges and stuff like that. But at the end, you're gonna be satisfied and you're gonna be happy with what you created. So, yeah. Like, do what you love and love what you do. That's one quote that I will always live by my entire life. So I had a ton of fun editing this montage. I had a ton of fun filming part 1 of this collab. Because they live across the world, stay tuned, guys. Video will be coming out next week, next Wednesday. Hopefully next Wednesday. But actually, this Wednesday I'm filming another collab with another fellow YouTuber. So collabs are coming. Even though we're in the middle of a pandemic and, no one's coming out, no one's meeting each other, we're still having fun. We're still doing collabs. So stay tuned because seriously, you guys don't want to miss any of these. So, yeah. Two collabs coming soon. 2 collabs, which is honestly like in the span of a week, I got 2 collabs. That's insane. So, yeah. One obviously lives across the world in a different time zone, so we could not film their video for their channel. So they are actually still figuring out a time. I'm perfectly fine with honestly any time at this point because I'm super, I got nothing to do. But yeah. Hopefully this Wednesday we get both videos in, or I don't even know if we're doing like a full collab or if they're just coming on as a guest to the podcast. So I don't know. Just depends. Yeah. But obviously it's going to be going on through Zoom. And yeah. So that's pretty much it. Alright, now getting into the actual episode, or the actual topic of this week's podcast episode. And that is, does the quality of your editing really matter? Yeah. While I was editing this montage, it kept coming in my head, like, what if this is not a good montage, or what if people don't like this, or what if people think it's a cool transition but the quality of it is bad, or what if people think just the quality of the entire montage is horrible and I spent so much time on it? And I'm obviously an overthinker, so I was like, what if, blah, 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 blah. And then I realized it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're using a phone that shoots at 720p. Doesn't matter if you're using a small little digital camera from like 2012 that shoots at 720p. Does not matter. It really doesn't. And you just it's honestly, I think I'm starting to learn this, and I'm starting to learn this lesson very well, is gear doesn't really matter. Gear doesn't really matter. The quality of your gear, the quality of your videos, it's not dependent on your gear. You can shoot the cameras, like phones these days, the iPhone 12s, the iPhone 11 even. The X's are still really good cameras. So if you have a phone that came out 2-3 years ago, you're still doing pretty good. Like I have an iPhone 6. Yes, I'm upgrading, but yeah, I have an iPhone 6. So obviously the quality sucks. But my brother has the iPhone SE, and that is one of the best budget iPhones out there right now, with a pretty good camera for what you're paying for, and iOS 14 and all the good stuff. So yeah, quite impressed. So that's what we were using, and then we were also using the XR for some shots and some clips. Before I got my main camera, which is the Panasonic Lumix DCZS 70. Oh my god, I'm forgetting the name already. What? No. DCZS? Yes, DCZS 70. So before I got that, that's what we were using, and the quality is pretty good. It's just I'm not a big phone. I'm not a person who likes to film on a phone. It's just not for me. So sorry about that. I actually had to change my place of where I was filming or record. I keep saying filming because I'm so used to saying filming, but recording this podcast because I'm a very free person. I don't have anything to do, while everyone else in my family has a ton of stuff to do still. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying. The DCZS70 is the Panasonic Lumix DCZS70K is what I have currently, and it's a beautiful camera. It's an amazing camera. But if I was still filming with a phone, I'd still be doing pretty good. If you're using iMovie, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're learning how to use actually when. Oh my god, the lights are flickering. Oh my god. Oh my god, the lights are flickering. Okay. I'm gonna have to pause this and resume this because this is scary, dude. The lights are flickering. Okay, we're good. My dad came to the rescue. Actually, no, it's flickering again. Great. Still very scared, but it's okay. We gotta finish this podcast. So, yeah. I mean, I'm learning this quite a lot. That gear really doesn't matter, especially when you're starting out. Obviously, if you're like a professional cinematographer or a professional videographer, or even a professional photographer, especially photographers, and you're using like a really nice camera, that makes sense. You spent quite a bit of money on that camera, that makes sense. But I don't think it makes sense to spend over $700 on a camera or a gear to make your YouTube videos better when you're just starting. So yeah. I don't think it makes sense to spend $1,000 or even like $800 on just gear. Yeah, no. Especially if you're a vlogger. Especially if you're a vlogger, you can just use your phone. And if you complain about the space like I did, you could use a like SD card connector, like if you're using an Apple one, like a Lightning to SD card connector, and you could just record and import that into that SD card directly from your phone. And then you can use that to put into iMovie on your, clips or whatever you're using, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, whatever you're using, Filmora, and just put, edit the video and upload it to YouTube. That was my issue. I did not like the fact that my brother, who he runs the channel obviously, but he's a college student. He has PDFs and stuff like that to have on his phone at all times, and it's not the most efficient, it's not the best way to keep these recorded videos on your phone, especially when you only have like 64 to 128 gigs of storage. 128 gigs is fine, but 64, you're toast. So yeah, honestly, that was the big issue for us. And I was already gonna plan on getting a camera in like the next year. So by like the end of 2021, I was gonna plan on getting a small camera. Like I wanted a small camera. I didn't want a huge DSLR or mirrorless or something. I mean, mirrorless are tiny these days, but I didn't want to get something that was super expensive and not super expensive, but like I wanted to get something that was around 500 or under. And the reason was because I wanted to take the rest of the money and invest it into kind of the future of this channel. So that's basically what I did. I found a camera that was under $500, bought it with the bundle, bought a couple other extra things. Well, actually, I didn't buy it, but my parents bought the camera for me with the bundle, which came with a ton of things, ton of camera accessories, and then I asked for a full tripod and stuff like that, and stuff that just makes my life easier when recording videos. And honestly, you can get the same effect from your phone. Obviously, if you're gonna be recording, don't use your webcam. Don't do that. If you're recording anything with like an old camera, whether it's a point and shoot or like like a old DSLR where the lens is not the best because the lens is also very old, I would say upgrade, especially if you're gonna keep it in that field. Now, the reason that I bought a camera specifically is because I know I want to stay in this field of camera work and camera gear. So I want to stay in that filmmaker / videographer field because that's one of my passions. That's what I want to do later in life. That's just one of the things that I want to do. And so a lot of YouTubers on YouTube, whatever their content may be, whether it's a sneakerhead like me or a fashionista or a vlogging channel or a ASMR channel or a makeup channel, whatever it is, you can really just use your phone. You really can. I can use my phone as well, but again, I bought this camera for a couple specific reasons, and one of them was for YouTube. The biggest one was because I want to stay in this field. If I want to stay in this field, you have to learn. And that's what I did because I wanted to learn. I bought a small camera that shoots in 4K that has a pretty good low light footage. Has autofocus, which is pretty dang good for that camera. Stuff like that. And I've learned quite a bit. I've also not learned at all. Like, I still can't really decide how to. I know what aperture and ISO are, but like it really confuses me sometimes when I'm trying to get the perfect shot and it's super sunny and I need to lower the ISO, but the aperture needs to be a bit higher, and it's like it confuses you, obviously, if you're not a professional or if you're not learning about this field in school. And I've come a long way since I've started YouTube. I've been into cameras since I was like 8. So 6 years. I've been filming YouTube videos since I was 8. I just never uploaded them. I film them on my mom's phone, on my dad's phone, on my MacBook, like the photo booth thing with my webcam. And yeah, sure, a lot of them look like trash, but I've always had that passion of recording. I've always had that passion of being able to show creativity through a video and who you are, and not just art as in, and I'm referring, when I say art, I'm referring to drawing and painting and animation and stuff like that, because I'm not good at that. Actually, my cousin, who lives in Pakistan, she found me on Discord, and so she asked me, "Are you creative?" And I was like, "Everyone's creative." And she's like, "No, not everyone's creative." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Are you creative?" And I'm like, "Depends on the way that you define creativity." And I'm creative in my own way, and she could be creative in her own way. You could be creative in your own way. And it depends on the way you define creativity and how you look at yourself as creative. This podcast that I'm recording, that is some sort of creativity coming out of me, because one, I am putting this podcast as I'm putting this podcast as a way to kind of express myself when it comes to advice or a specific topic, whether if I've done research or whether if I don't know a single thing about it. I'm just trying to learn and talk about it with you guys listening. And that's all. I'm an ordinary girl who has a passion for this stuff and would like to pursue this passion. And so I start young. And that's all it is. And then she said, "Are you good at art? Are you artistic?" And I said, again, that depends on the way you define artistic. And she said, "Well, are you good at drawing and painting?" I said, "No, because that's not my creative artistic side. My creative artistic side shows the edits I put in." Now, obviously on iMovie, you can't do much unless you put in more than like 6 hours in one video, a short 10-minute, 8-minute video. You're going to put at least 10 hours to find super good transitions and everything. If you're using a little bit more high quality, something like Premiere Pro or something like Filmora, where they literally do it for you. The thing with Filmora is that I'm not a big fan of Filmora. And the reason is because they do everything for you. You can't really learn. You can't learn how to make the actual transition. With DaVinci Resolve, you have two options. You use the transitions that they've given you, or you can use those transitions and then add to that. And that's exactly what I did in my montage that comes out on Friday. So stay tuned for that. But okay, this is how I would say it, right? If you were to choose, if any of these were free for you, obviously iMovie is free. So if you were to choose any of these 4 editing platforms, whether it's iMovie, Filmora, Final Cut Pro, or Premiere Pro, which one would you choose? Now, a lot of people would go for Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro, right? Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro are pro. They have the word pro in them. This is for someone who's experienced, who has used who knows how to use these editing softwares. For me, I started on iMovie, used iMovie, learned how to do stuff like this, then used that same stuff in the DaVinci Resolve. It's quite different, obviously, because one is made by Apple, which is free, and the other one is made by Blackmagic, a cinema camera company. They literally specifically design cinema cameras that are, 6K, 8K, 12K. These are what cameras that are, being shot for documentaries or movies and TV shows. And you see these, or red cameras especially. I mean, red cameras are honestly the biggest one that are being used in production in terms of movies and TV shows and documentaries and films and stuff like that. But it's all just software. Yes, I'm gonna get a much cleaner montage, a 4-minute montage that I put 3 hours into DaVinci Resolve. I'm gonna get completely different results if I put that same thing in iMovie. And the simple reason is iMovie is for basics. DaVinci Resolve is for someone who knows the basics and is ready to get into the pro. It's that simple. So if you're someone looking into getting into any type of YouTube or any type of editing or any type of any type of content creating, obviously you're going to be creating videos and Instagram posts, and you're going to want to edit, whether if it's in Adobe Spark or what I use is actually Canva.com. That's where I make my thumbnails. It's pretty easy. I'm not gonna take a ton of time recording a video that, if this montage is 4 minutes long, I'm not gonna extend that montage and make it into a vlog for no reason. I'm just gonna make it a montage, and that's it. I'm just gonna edit that montage and upload it. That's all I'm gonna do. And the reason is because and this is very common with smaller content creators. I've seen this all the time. I'm a tiny content creator. There's so many tiny baby content creators out there that can do so much, but because they want their videos to be 12 minutes long instead of 3, or a couple minutes longer than usual, they'll stretch it out because they don't have enough content. And that's fine. If you don't have enough content, don't stretch out your video. You're gonna ruin your video. If you don't have content, don't try to make some sort of video or some sort of part in a video or clip in a video where you're just blabbering and you're not talking about anything. And I used to do this too, but I didn't realize it. I always had content, but I'm just gonna say I like to speak. I like to be listened to. I want people to hear my voice, and I want people to listen to me and listen to what I'm saying. And so when I give my opinions, I want people to respectfully acknowledge them, and it's okay if they agree with them, or it's okay if they disagree with them. They can respectfully say it back. But I don't want you to cut me off. I don't want you to tell me to shut up. I want you to listen to what I'm saying before you say something. And that's what I do a lot in my vlogs. That's what I do a lot in my videos. I'll just continue to talk and talk and talk and talk. And I'm now starting to realize it's not good, because then people think I don't have enough content, which I do have enough content. It's just I'm someone who likes to talk a lot. I'm someone who likes to be heard. I'm someone who wants I want people who are listening to me or watching my videos to know that I am, I do this, and I'm not some weirdo who just likes to make videos. You know what? I am a weirdo, and that's completely fine. People find me weird. Go ahead, find me weird. But don't tell me to shut up, or don't tell me you're just the person with a camera, or someone who just likes shoes, or, can't do much. Because if you think about it, the BTS behind all this stuff is what really makes a video a video. The amount of time you spend editing not only the video, the raw footage, but editing the thumbnails. Thumbnails are actually taking up quite a bit of my time now. It's not an easy hobby. It's not an easy job either. If this is your career, you know how hard it is. You know at one point you're going to have to hire an editor or hire a cameraman, because filming solo, editing solo, it's not easy. You're going to be losing a ton of sleep. You're going to be, not... If you continue to do this and you're losing a ton of sleep or you're burning yourself out, go check out last week's episode. I talked about burnout there. You're not going to enjoy what you're doing. You're not going to be satisfied with the content that you're creating, no matter how good that content is. You're not going to like it, which makes you think your audience is not going to like it, which makes you think, this is a waste of my time. This is a waste of footage. This is a waste of space. This is a waste of content. When it's really not. It's beautiful, creative, amazing content that you put time, effort, energy into. But because you're burnt out and because you're just doing so much all at once, because you're only you're a solo flyer, it's gonna happen. So if you're a daily vlogger or someone who uploads daily, then change your upload schedule. Upload 2 to 3 times a week then. 4 times a week if you want that much footage to go up. But that I'm not saying to stop uploading and just give up on your career, especially if this is your career. Just have fun with it. It doesn't matter if you don't have a problem with shooting in 720p, if you don't have a problem with how bad your editing is. Now, I'm not saying bad editing is bad editing. I'm saying this is bad editing, this is trash editing, this is minimal effort, this is just putting the clips together, and that's it. Exporting it onto YouTube. If you don't have a problem with that and you're happy and satisfied with that, and if you're happy and satisfied with the content that you create, there is no reason to go out and buy a $1,000 camera just so you can make more content. You can make that same content with your phone. You can make that same content with your webcam. If you have a really good webcam, you can make that same content by just being you and not worrying about, oh my God, do I have a ring light? Oh my God, do I have this? Oh my God, do I have that? I'm sure your bedroom or your basement or wherever you film, your living room, wherever it is, your lights are fine. if you really have that much of a problem, go buy a ring light. If you have that much of a problem, just go buy a small little light that you could put against the camera or on top of the camera, or sit right next to the camera and just, you know. So if you feel that you need, then if you feel as if I can't show all my creativity because of this gear, and if you feel that way, and I understand, I felt that way too. If you feel that way, there's a very simple answer, and that is, if you feel that way, go ahead, go buy that gear, go show people what you can do, and go make sure that everyone that's watching your videos is being satisfied, is liking the content. And not only that, you gotta make sure you like that. You like the content that you have, you like the energy, you like everything about that video. It satisfies you. Unfortunately, this podcast episode will have to cut off here, and because my MacBook is at 4%. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching or listening to this week's podcast episode. I will continue this sometime in the future, maybe a month or two away. So yeah, just remember, gear does not matter unless you're a professional. But yeah, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to hit that subscribe button. When you do hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you guys get notified when I upload, whether it's a podcast episode, whether if it's a vlog, sneaker content, sit-down videos, tech videos. And there's a new series coming to this channel tomorrow, actually. On Thursday, there is a video coming out. So stay tuned, because there's something coming out, and I think a lot of you guys will actually like this series. So yeah, that's all for this week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.